Oumuamua, this strange object that was discovered 2017, don't quite match what you expected, and you're trying to find an explanation.
In July of 2025, during what began as a routine sky survey, NASA's Atlas telescope in Chile picked up something faint, something small, something that at first glance looked no different from the thousands of comets that wander across the solar system every year, a hazy dot with a thin veil of gas trailing behind it, catalogued and logged like countless others. But what no one realized in that first instant was that this object, later confirmed as 3I Atlas, would soon become only the third interstellar visitor humanity has ever detected, joining the short and exclusive list that includes the now legendary Oumuamua and the comet Borisov. Unlike the sudden splash of media frenzy that greeted those earlier discoveries, this one passed almost unnoticed in its early days, a quiet addition to the charts of astronomers while the world's attention was elsewhere. But for the experts who studied its orbit, the data revealed something extraordinary. This was no simple loop around the sun. Its path was hyperbolic, stretched like a bowstring drawn to breaking point, the kind of trajectory that meant it had not been born in our solar system at all but had been ejected from some distant star system eons ago, wandering the galaxy in the deep dark until, by chance, it crossed our skies. That alone was enough to make scientists take notice. But what truly set 3I Atlas apart was the timing of its discovery. Unlike Oumuamua, which was spotted too late for detailed study, or Borisov, which appeared as a bright comet but offered only a short window of observation, 3I Atlas was found months before its closest approach, giving humanity time, precious, rare time, to watch every phase of its journey, from its early glow to its furious sprint around the sun and finally its fading retreat into the endless night. And time, in astronomy, is everything. As August unfolded, large observatories and even some powerful amateur telescopes in the southern hemisphere turned their eyes to it, capturing its faint glow, measuring its coma, testing for the presence of a developing tail. It was moving astonishingly fast, 60 kilometers every single second, more than 200,000 kilometers every hour, nearly twice the velocity of Earth's orbital dance around the sun. At that speed, it would cross the span of the solar system in only a few short months, leaving scientists racing to record as much as possible before it was gone forever. By late October, around the 29th and 30th, 3I Atlas would reach perihelion, the moment of closest approach to the sun, a fiery encounter where its surface ices would boil and vent gas in dramatic jets, forming a brighter, more visible tail. And this would be the critical period when telescopes from Earth and even space-based observatories like the James Webb would have their best chance at decoding its chemical composition through spectral analysis. Was it rich in water ice like Borisov? Did it carry exotic carbon compounds, frozen clues to alien worlds? Or would it defy expectations, like Oumuamua, offering no clear signs at all, leaving us only with puzzles and theories? Its estimated size was perhaps 20 kilometers across, though this number was uncertain, because the haze of its coma blurred the edges and left room for debate, and as it approached the sun, its changing brightness would refine those calculations. But for now, what mattered most was the opportunity, the ability to compare this third visitor with the two that came before, to place it in context and expand our understanding of the galaxy beyond. Oumuamua had confounded the world, a cigar-shaped body that seemed to accelerate mysteriously, perhaps pushed by outgassing too faint to detect, or perhaps by something stranger still, a possibility that sparked Avi Loeb's famous argument that it might be artificial. Borisov, on the other hand, had behaved like a familiar comet, its water ice and dusty tail painting a picture of planetary systems much like our own, a cosmic reassurance that we were not unusual. Now came 3I Atlas, straddling the line between the two, comet-like but faint, active but not wildly so, ordinary yet undeniably alien in origin. Unlike its predecessors, it would give us a full arc of observation, from early approach through perihelion to departure, and that was unprecedented. It meant not just snapshots but a complete story. Every week leading up to its solar flyby would be critical, each spectrum of light, each shift in brightness another piece of the puzzle. After October, As it curved back outward, astronomers would track its fading glow into November and December, chasing it as it slipped into invisibility and left us again with nothing but records and questions. And so the story of 3I or Atlas is not just about a comet-like rock from another star. It is about perspective, about the fact that our solar system is not an isolated bubble but part of a larger galactic highway where objects from unknown origins occasionally pass through, each one carrying within it the secrets of distant suns and alien worlds. What we learn from them shapes how we see our place in the cosmos. Do other systems produce icy wonders like Borisov? Do strange fragments like Oumuamua suggest phenomena we still cannot explain? Does 3I our Atlas represent a middle ground, a more typical ambassador of interstellar debris, or is it something new altogether? These are the questions driving the feverish effort to study it. Questions that link not only to astronomy but to the deeper human age to understand where we come from and what lies beyond. Because in the end, objects like 3I our Atlas remind us of the vastness of space, the fragility of opportunity, and the fact that sometimes the universe delivers visitors we never expect, moving too quickly to stay, but leaving behind echoes of knowledge that may change the way we see everything. In the unfolding story of interstellar exploration, the arrival of 3I our Atlas marks not only the third confirmed visitor from beyond our solar system, but also a milestone in how far our observational science has advanced. And because this object was detected far earlier in its trajectory than either Oumuamua in 2017 or Borisov in 2019, it gives astronomers a rare opportunity to follow its entire journey from first approach through solar encounter and then into the fading distance, building what may become the most complete scientific record of an interstellar traveler yet. Right now, in August 2025, 3I our Atlas is already visible to the world's largest telescopes and to a handful of well-equipped amateurs in the southern hemisphere. And these early weeks are crucial because they allow researchers to establish baselines of brightness, measure the object's initial rotation rate, and begin to track any early signs of outgassing or coma formation as sunlight warms its surface. And throughout August and September, its orbital position will make it accessible for long-duration imaging runs where telescopes can repeatedly capture exposures to detect subtle fluctuations in light, which in turn reveal not only spin patterns but also whether jets of gas are intermittently reshaping its path. The most intense focus, however, will come in late October when, between the 29th and 30th, 3I Atlas reaches perihelion, the closest point to the Sun, where its velocity will peak at tens of kilometers per second and where solar heating could drive dramatic outbursts of material, producing changes in coma brightness, tail length, or unexpected fragmentations, all of which will vanish quickly if not observed in real time. And then, as the object departs in November and December, astronomers will watch equally carefully, because its fading light curve and the speed with which activity declines provide vital clues about surface composition and thermal response to solar heating, effectively telling us how interstellar ices behave when shocked by a star they did not evolve around. Throughout this months-long campaign, one of the most critical tools will be spectral analysis, where the light from 3I our Atlas is separated into wavelengths to uncover the fingerprints of its gases and dust. And from these readings, scientists will learn whether the object contains familiar compounds like water, carbon monoxide, or organics, or whether it harbors exotic chemistries not common in our system. And every detection will be compared against the archives of Oumuamua and Borisov to test whether these objects share a family resemblance or whether each carries a radically different signature of its stellar nursery. And this comparison will sharpen models of how planetary systems form and eject debris into the galaxy. Yet none of this science would even be possible without the revolution in detection technology over the past 2 decades, because for most of human history, interstellar visitors must have passed unnoticed overhead, invisible to the unaided eye and undetectable with photographic plates or narrow-field surveys. And even in the early space age, our monitoring tools were too limited to find them in time. So only with the rise of large-scale automated sky surveys did the game change, with Atlas in Hawaii and Chile, Pan-STARRS in Hawaii, and soon the Vera Rubin Observatory in Chile sweeping vast sections of sky every night, feeding their immense image. libraries into machine learning systems capable of instantly flagging faint moving points against billions of background stars. And because of this automation, when a speck like 3I our Atlas shifts between frames, software calculates its path and quickly reveals that it is not bound to the sun at all, but arriving from the void. And this shift from reactive discovery to proactive preparation is transformative because it allows observatories worldwide to schedule time in advance, to coordinate between Earth and space-based instruments, and to ensure that no crucial moment, from perihelion brightening to departure dimming, is missed. But the detection of 3I our Atlas also revives a tantalizing question that has followed every interstellar discovery since Oumuamua. Could humanity actually send a spacecraft to intercept such an object, to study it directly rather than from afar, to capture data at close range, or perhaps even return samples? Yet the challenge remains daunting because 3I Atlas, like its predecessors, travels at nearly 60 kilometers per second relative to the Sun, far faster than any probe we have launched, and to match such speed a spacecraft would require a sequence of planetary gravity assists or propulsion breakthroughs still beyond current readiness. And since the window between detection and closest approach is only months, not years, we cannot design, build, and launch from scratch in time, meaning the only viable option would be to have a rapid response spacecraft already built, fueled, and waiting for launch on short notice, a concept proposed by projects such as Lyra after Oumuamua but never funded. And although this approach would be costly and politically challenging, advocates argue that with the growing frequency of interstellar detections, such readiness may become essential if humanity wishes to seize the next opportunity rather than watching it fade forever. And so, as telescopes now prepare to follow 3I our Atlas across the sky from brightening to disappearance, the implications ripple outward, because before 2017, the existence of such visitors was theoretical, assumed rare, perhaps once in millennia, and now, less than a decade later, we have logged 3 confirmed cases, Oumuamua, Borisov, and Atlas, proving that interstellar debris is not rare at all but rather a steady flux through our solar system, hidden until our detection tools caught up and as surveys improve further, especially with the arrival of the Vera Rubin Observatory. Scientists now expect not a trickle but a stream, perhaps several new interstellar objects every year, which will allow for comparative studies, statistical catalogs, and eventually pattern recognition linking certain stellar nurseries to specific compositions, transforming interstellar objects from anomalies into a new branch of routine planetary science. And with each detection, the message becomes clearer. Our solar system is not isolated. It is immersed in a galactic traffic of material shed by other stars, and by observing, analyzing, and perhaps one day intercepting these wanderers, we are sampling fragments of alien worlds without leaving our own. And so, as 3I our Atlas makes its brief passage before vanishing into darkness forever, it leaves us not only data about its own structure but also a reminder that the galaxy is far more connected, far more dynamic, and far more open to exploration than we once believed. And this time, unlike the silent centuries before, we are watching, recording, and preparing for the next messenger from the stars.